Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, I of course am the FPL Train, where of course in this channel we just talk about fantasy Premier League football. So going into this video, we're going to be looking at what 3 possible transfers we can make ahead of game week 11. That's of course 1 defender, 1 midfielder and 1 striker. But before we do that, of course we're going to look back on game week 10 and the 3 transfers I recommended, which you can already see on screen of course, which is Livramento, Rashford and Wizard. We'll go through them then one by one. Starting off with Livramento of course. And yes, 7 points from him, which is kind of amazing because out of the 3 players, I thought this is the one that's going to do absolutely terrible. But amazingly, Newcastle came away with a clean sheet against Arsenal, 1-0. And he managed to come away with a little bonus point on top of that. So 7 points there for Livramento. He absolutely smashed it. Didn't expect it because, well, it was against Arsenal. You might have wondered why would I recommend him when he was playing Arsenal, but the fixtures after game week 10 was of course quite decent. So yeah, if you did go for Livramento, you got your 7 points, and now you got a nice little run, should I say, ahead of game week 11, 12, and 13. So yeah, well done if you went for him. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. I just kind of wish I went for him instead of just recommending him. So yeah, apart from that, yeah, 7 points there, pretty decent start. Where of course the other 2 didn't end up as great. So yeah, Marcus Rashford played obviously the other day against Chelsea. Look, it was a tough fixture against Chelsea. We weren't expecting too much, but United did get a goal. Nothing to do with Rashford, of course, and he did go off early, which of course, again, wasn't great. But obviously they sacked the manager, Man United did, so you kind of think, well, you're thinking, well, what are Man United going to do here? Now, if you did get Rashford, obviously you only got 2 points, which is a bit miserable, really. But the next 3 fixtures are Leicester, Ipswich, and Everton. So if you do have him, I will definitely say this now, hold him for those 3 fixtures. And if he blanks in all 3, get rid of him and never look back. And that leaves us then with Wizard of Brentford, the striker. Again, same as Rashford, only scored 2 points. Now going into this game week, I was sure at least one of Rashford and Wizard was going to get a goal or an assist at least. But no, neither of them did. If you watched the Brentford-Fulham game like I did, I mean, to be fair, Fulham played really well. They were definitely deserving of the win. But yeah, it was kind of like, it's a bit of a shame Wizard didn't score because obviously he's a quality player, but it just didn't look like scoring at all. Went off early, of course, as well for Brentford. So just like Rashford, only scored 2 points, which, yeah, I know is disappointing, but what we'll say to you is, again, a bit like Rashford really, the next 3 fixtures for Wizard are pretty decent. So he's got Bournemouth, Everton, and Leicester City. So if you do have Wizard, I definitely would still recommend holding him at least for the next 3 game weeks. So then on to game week 11 transfers, and the first one we've got on here, the defensive change, is of course Kirkes of Bournemouth, which obviously looks like it's a knee-jerk reaction. The guy's just scored 10 points against Man City, got 2 assists, he got 2 bonus points, which is mental because he should have had 3 in my opinion, because he was by far their best player, and he got 2 assists for God's sake. So he should have definitely have had 11 points, not 10, but yeah, absolutely smashed it. He would have thought it. Against Arsenal and Man City, he has scored 17 points, right? That is more points than combined with all the other teams they've played. Bear in mind, they've played the likes of Southampton, Leicester, Everton. That is absolutely insane. So yeah, you're probably thinking, well, why would you want to go for Kirkes? Well, look, his fixtures going forward now, they're actually pretty decent in all fairness. Apart from that Spurs fixture they've got in game week 14, they're actually going on a pretty decent run. You could say Brentford, Bournemouth are difficult fixtures as well, to be fair, but on paper they've got a good chance of winning those games. So Brentford in 11 away, chances there. 12 is Brighton, you know what they play like. I mean, he could get an assist in that game quite easily. Wolves are currently rock bottom of the league, and Ipswich Town just can't seem to win a game. So they've got a decent run of fixtures going forward. So for 4.4 million, and I know a lot of people are trying to find space, getting Saka, Palmer, Salah, Haaland, etc. But doing that, you need cheap defenders, right? So this guy's 4.4 million. It might be worth getting him in your team if you want all those premiums in your team too. So with the midfield change then, I've got, of course, Anthony Gordon, which, again, you could go, well, this is clearly knee-jerk reaction as well, because he got that assist against Arsenal in the 1-0 win. But really, it's not. I mean, as you can tell, the fact that I said go for Livramento in game week 10, I'm now saying go for Gordon in game week 11. I'm clearly saying now is the time to go for Newcastle players, because their fixtures, they're good going forward. Next 3 fixtures, although Forest are doing quite well this season, I think Newcastle can do a job on them. West Ham have been absolutely shocking and they need to sack their manager. Crystal Palace have been poor this season. Absolutely poor. Liverpool, of course, is a difficult one. Brentford concede goals left, right, centre, which is obviously a bonus for Gordon because he's an attacking player. Then after Brentford, they've got Leicester and Ipswich. So they've got a great run of fixtures coming up. Gordon, unbelievable last season. He's obviously not got off to an amazing start this season, getting only 2 goals and 1 assist so far this season. But their fixtures, they've not been great. Not going to lie. I mean, the Southampton game week 1, and the Everton game in game week 7 are probably the 2 standout poor games where they should probably, Gordon should have really got more points. But apart from that, a lot of the fixtures have been difficult, I'd say. But yeah, I definitely think it's worth going forward. Worth going for Gordon going forward. Look, not a lot of people currently have him, which is another bonus. So it's 8.6% owned, 7.2 million. I do think he is going to be worth going for in the next 3 game weeks. If you don't want him for 14, 15, yeah, I kind of get that. But you're going to want him for game week 16 and 17. Now then, that brings us on to my final transfer recommendation ahead of game week 11, and it is Cunha, a player. This is a player I've recommended before this season. I think it's probably the only player I've recommended now twice this season. Obviously, I recommended him about 3 or 4 game weeks ago. You want to look at getting him ahead of these fixtures coming up. He's looked pretty decent so far. I own him myself, which is probably a big thing, because I'm not saying go for these guys and then I'm going for the opposite. I own this player, and he is unbelievable. He is absolutely amazing. Yes, Wolves are rock bottom this season, but this guy, in 9 games, he's got 4 goals. He's got an assist. He played amazing against Crystal Palace, got an assist. Obviously, he scored against the likes of Brighton, Brentford, Played well against, obviously, Aston Villa, getting a goal there. Scoring against Chelsea. The guy has been really good this season. Phenomenal, you might say. And the fixtures now are incredible for him. Southampton, Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, Ipswich and Leicester City, all to come for him. He's 6.6 million right now, 6.4% owned. Barely anybody's even going for him still. You've got to be going for this guy. I'm so confident. Obviously, everyone's going for Chris Wood, and I completely understand that because I wish I had him for all those goals he scored. But if you look at Forest's fixtures, they ain't great. They're not going to get much of the ball, in my opinion. So I wouldn't be going for Chris Wood. But if you own Chris Wood, sell Chris Wood, I'd say, and get Cunha. Because I just think it's the perfect time to swap them around. Because this guy, I've got a feeling, is going to be doing business in the next 5 or 6 game weeks. Fingers crossed he does though, because I own him. So that would be really handy for me. But yeah, those are the 3 transfers then I'm going to be recommending ahead of game week 11. So we've got in defence, obviously Kirkez. I'm telling you, it's not knee-jerk reaction. I think fixtures looking good for him. Gordon's got great fixtures coming up, particularly in the next 3, and obviously in game week 16 and 17. And then Cunha's got a great run of fixtures coming up. So you've got to be seriously taking a look at this player, honestly. So yeah, those are the 3 players I'm going to be recommended ahead of game week 11. Let me know what you think of these players. Let me know if they're crap or if they're amazing. Or if you're going with someone else, just let me know what you're thinking about doing ahead of game week 11. And before you go as well, please do not forget to hit that like button. Even if you didn't like it, just like it anyway. It doesn't hurt. And also, please as well, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all on the next one.